Good morning. It's been a while. It's kind of busy. Let's just go ahead and get right into it. Of course, I'm going to talk about Chrisean Rock and the things that came out about her recently. Now, here's my thing about Chrisean Rock. And I want to get into the video, but I'm first going to talk about myself because I feel like I'm able to judge and criticize her because still am a single parent myself. I have been raising my daughter on her own for the most part from the time she was born up until now, and she's almost 18 years old. Now, was I a perfect parent? No. In fact, I will admit this. When I found out there was a possibility that I could have been a father, my child's mother, I told her, you better hope that it's not mine because I am a very selfish person and I'm not going to be there. I'm not going to be a father. That's just not me. I'm enjoying my life too much. And to be honest with you, I meant those words when I said it at that time. I was making great money. I was traveling a lot. I didn't want to give up my freedom. However, though, just by the off chance that the kid was mine, I still came to the hospital to see her when she was born. In fact, I was the first one to hold her. And after I saw her getting cleaned up from, the aftermath of being born, and I held her for the first time, I cried. Because unfortunately, I knew that was my daughter once I held her and I looked at her face. And I was like, okay, I can't abandon you. So I made her a promise right there while I hold her. I promised that I would give 100% to make sure she has everything she needs and wants, and I'll be the best father possible. And I stayed true to those words. I gave up my dreams of moving away. I gave up some of my career goals that I had. I gave up a lot of my career goals. And I actually just focused on being a father. And while I was working hard to be a father, separating myself from friends, stop going out and partying, stop drinking, things of that nature, my child's mother went in direct opposite direction. And she chose to go out more and everything else. It's a whole story. I'm not going to get into too far with that. But long story short, ended up going to court. I was taking care of two kids. So I said, well, let me just get rid of the debt rate and just take care of one kid. So I filed to get my daughter. It was a very long, strenuous process, but I proved that I was the better fitting parent. And Lord Mahal has proven correct because I have a straight A student that's getting offers from Ivy League colleges, and her mother is doing God knows what, wherever else, right? So I say all that is that whenever you choose to be a parent, now, men don't necessarily have the choice. We just have the consequences for our actions. However, though, when you're a woman, you do have a choice. At least back then, you had a choice of birth control. You had a choice of making sure your partner used a condom. And yes, I did use a condom. This mine was sabotage. Again, long story. Maybe one day I'll tell it. Or you had the option of getting the procedure that takes away the baby. In fact, I thought that was going to be done in my case. I even gave my child's mother the money to get that procedure done, and she didn't. She just used the money to buy whatever she wanted to at that particular time. So parenthood was thrust upon me. I didn't have a choice. I made sure I was the best parent possible. So when I see women like Chrisean Rock that's supposed to have money, now I understand that she's supposedly an entertainer. I cannot think of one Chrisean Rock song, even though she's supposedly a rapper. The only thing I see her for is, I don't even watch Zeus Network or the Bad Girls Club. I don't necessarily watch her streams. I get clips here and there, and I see the drama she had between her and Blueface. But if she's a rapper, entertainer, and I think I saw a clip after streaming University where she went to the prom and she was saying how she getting all this money. I think Aiden Ross gave her a cake deal or something, if I remember correctly. If you're making millions, I'm assuming, even not millions in the high six figures, I would think you would have enough money. Excuse me, sciences. I would think you would have enough money to afford a babysitter, to afford or to pay a family member, anybody. Hell, she has a whole sister who is married and has kids. And you don't hear nothing bad from Tashiki. At least I haven't. Yeah, you hear that she could throw hands. But outside of that, you don't hear nothing bad about her. So you have a sister that can watch her. There's grandparents there. There are other people in place that can watch the kid. Now, unfortunately, because of Chrisean Rock's actions, is not necessarily taking care of your average kid. Because of Chrisean Rock's actions and alleged decisions, and I say alleged decisions because it came out recently that she may have had chlamydia and she passed that on to the kid while giving birth. And they were saying that she needed to do a C-section and she refused to do one. My question about that is, if I'm being honest with you, how do you have chlamydia when you get ready to give birth? And I'm asking that question because I remember when my child's mother was pregnant and I went to a few of the appointments. They checked for everything. So that means she had to get chlamydia while she was pregnant. And if it wasn't from Blueface, it was from somebody else. Somebody gave it. So that means she was still effing while she was pregnant. And that's the thing I don't understand. If, let's say she did get it from Blueface. I don't know if she did or not. That's who she was with at that time, if I remember correctly. Now, Blueface did allege that she did cheat a lot. But let's say that she was with him and Blueface was out there seeing other women. And you like to go back and forth to your baby daddy. A lot of women do. Why wouldn't you be safe when you have a kid? Why wouldn't you make sure whoever you're laying down with when you're pregnant does not have an STI, STD, or anything else? Why wouldn't you make them get tested? It's not that hard. It's not that time consuming to do. So when I say Chrisean Rock belongs in the trash and she's a trash ass human being, I mean that 100% of my heart. Because she chose to have that baby. I remember when she said that the tattoos on her face, the crosses, was for each time she had an abortion after getting pregnant by Blueface. So instead of getting that procedure done every single time, why didn't she just use protection? If she don't like using protection, why didn't she get on a birth control? And you see, this is what I mean by trash ass people. There are preventive measures that you can do to make sure you don't continue to get pregnant over and over and over again. And then when you finally choose to give birth, your kid allegedly, supposedly has all kinds of issues now. Developmental issues. Physical issues. Well, let's go ahead and get into a few of these clips and get more into the story.
Okay, who's out here breaking HIPAA laws? Apparently, there's some medical records of Chrisean and her baby floating around, and I don't know if it's true. This is all alleged, but I'm just gonna share what I learned. Maybe, allegedly. So it says that the baby suffers from fetal alcohol syndrome.
Now, we all seen Chrisean drinking. I remember when that came out originally, and they were saying that, or she was saying, it was a non-alcoholic drink, and you can watch her and all this other kind of stuff. I remember her. I think it was a green lights on her having a drink. She said that was a non-alcoholic drink. But whenever you see Chrisean throughout her life after she became famous, she always seemed kind of slow. Like there was something off. Like she was always under some type of influence. And it wasn't like that before. If you look at old clips before she met Blueface and stuff like that, I'm not saying Blueface is the direct cause of this, but whenever you watch old clips of her, I'm not going to lie, Chrisean Rock was a baddie. Chrisean Rock was so sexy. Chrisean Rock was so articulate that it seems like two different people from back then to now. It's kind of like, Chrisean, what happened? Like, what are you on that has you talking the way you do?
And neonatal abstinence syndrome. So neonatal abstinence syndrome is basically the baby is withdrawing from opioids, some sort of drugs, but they're thinking either opioids or cocaine in this case. And
it wouldn't surprise me if that's true. I didn't want to look at the medical records. I felt that was too much of a violation, but this story is kind of old. It's old, like 2 months ago. But what I am going to touch on what's happening now with her having the police come to a hotel because of her live stream with her and her boyfriend, the baby. I'll talk more about that in a minute. I just want to get over the background first.
Allegedly, but he also allegedly suffers from spasticity, which is like a neurological disorder that makes it hard for people or babies to move their limbs.
And we all see the boy can barely walk. He can barely hold his head up. It's really sad to see that all this could have been prevented if she would have had some discipline.
He also suffers from seizure disorder and CVI. Now, CVI is cortical visual impairment, which is just it means that a part of his brain has been damaged, the part of his brain that controls his vision. So
and people say he always looking around like he can't focus on anything. Like all these things that people say about Chrisean's baby and this woman right here, Messi_Mats, check out her TikTok. It adds up.
he has blindness. Like a lot of people, I've heard people say this, but I just didn't believe it. But oh my God. It also says that he should be in palliative care. Now, I work in hospice, and a lot of people, they believe that palliative care and hospice is interchangeable, but it's not. Palliative care kind of focuses more on prolonging the life of.
And Chrisean Rock has a lot of fans because she gets on here, she cries, she tries to say she's not perfect. She does the whole entire fake Christian forgiveness crap that I'm just so annoyed of seeing from her. And I just got a question for all her fans right now. If it comes out that that baby ends up passing away in her care, what excuse will you accept from her then? Because she's already asked God for forgiveness. She's already on her knees and doing these little gospel things. Then, she's holy on a Sunday morning, but sinful that Sunday night.
The child or person in general. But in this case, if he should be on palliative care, he's got a very serious medical condition, and he ain't gonna. She needs to be taking care of him. How? As a mother, do you know these diagnoses, or do you know any of this information about your son and not help him in any way? Continue to live the same lifestyle that you lived before you had him.
And truthfully, it seems like she's getting worse. The only things that she's doing differently is she's throwing Jesus and God out there to throw people off. But every few months, you'll see an update about her getting ready to get into a fight with somebody, having a new beef, having these accusations. It's just ongoing. And truthfully, it's a disappointment that nobody in her family has sued for custody for this kid, to give this kid a real fighting chance. This is another thing I can't believe I'm saying. I'm honestly looking forward to Blueface getting out of prison so he could try to get custody of his freaking son. Give this boy a fighting chance somehow, because honestly, if I turn on the TV or look at the news break on my phone and I see an article that Chrisean Rock found baby passed away of sepsis or whatever BS, I'm going to know it's 100% her neglect. Nobody has held her accountable yet. Yeah, sure, you'll see a few of these women like your auntie and Blueface mom get on here and they'll yell and curse. But I have yet to see them try to file to get custody of this kid. I know the your auntie woman can't, but I mean, Blueface mom could. Somebody could try to do something to give this kid a fighting chance.
When you become a mother or father, but in this case, we're talking about mothers. When you become a mother, your life changes. You need to change, to adapt, to make sure that you are putting your child above yourself, especially someone who has the serious medical issues that Junior has.
And that's why I said earlier, when I was talking about myself. When I found out that I was truly a father, I made changes in my life to be the best version of a man that my daughter could be. I wanted her, my daughter saw me as Superman, and I wanted to live up to that as much as I can. She thought I can do anything. She thought I knew everything. She just thought I was great. So if you have a little girl looking up at you like that, or a kid looking up to you like that, you want to show them the best example possible of a human being, because this world is evil. So they gotta see goodness somewhere, so they'll know where to get that from to push that out themselves. But right now, it seems like Chrisean Rock, the way she's acting, she's giving up on her son, and it shows in her actions.
Pathetic. She's pathetic. But all of these things are incredibly serious. I have literally no words.
Now, let's go ahead and take a look at a few of these clips right here. Now, this is Chrisean Rock. Right there smoking. And keep in mind, she was pregnant during this time. Right? That was her smoking while she was pregnant. And that's her new man. I'm not too familiar with him. There are too many new rappers, street guys getting popular podcasts. I think his name was HoodTrophy, if I remember correctly. HoodTrophy Bino. Not familiar with him. There's him and Chrisean playing, but I'm glad she's living her life, having fun, I guess, in a sense. But where's her damn kid at? Why isn't the kid a priority? Now, when I went to his page and saw, and I'll go to his Instagram here in a minute, you saw him getting baptized with his daughter. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at this right quick. Every single time Chrisean Rock gets into a new controversy, Chrisean comes out. When you realize, let me turn off this music because I don't want to get no copyrights. Let's see. When you realize following Christ don't get easier, you get stronger. I took this video yesterday. It's literally me running to God. I love this video. Yeah. And you know, a lot of people who don't have discernment, they're going to see that and say, amen. And not look at this woman's actions and how she's been carrying herself and who she's surrounding herself with. Now, no, nothing against DJ Academics, but he's known for being a drunk. I mean, you see him on stream, he's always drinking. And then Birdman has all kinds of issues with the Hot Boys, that allegations that was made against him too. So let's be real here. Okay. Just have music?
Yeah, and richly.
Yeah, there's music. Okay. Again, not trying to get copyright stricken. Why suck me? You gotta move like you know God got you. But why is the name like that? Does she ever look at the stuff she posts? Again, she's out late night. I understand this could be her potential career and working or what have you. But you have a kid. This is 14 hours ago, keep in mind. Why aren't you with your kid? You know, Chrisean would get a lot more supporters if she switched into full Christianity and this be a mother. And then this is the HoodTrophy Bino I was talking about, her boyfriend, I think, or guy she's messing with. I can't wait to marry my wife and be with her daily. Is that supposed to be Chrisean? PSA October 15th All-Star raffle for the straight A students only. Oh, that's pretty cool. Picking 10 kids first semester. So he seems like he cares about kids, right? At least by his posts. And I'm not going to go too far down his page because I saw some stuff that will probably get this video flagged for sure. But I'm trying to see if I can get to the, yeah, right here. Again, another beautiful moment. Him getting baptized with his daughter. I have nothing wrong with that. But you're sitting here getting baptized with your daughter while the woman you're messing with or girlfriend, oh, there we go, Chrisean commented, Yahweh, amen. I didn't even notice that before. What's positive about this post? Why don't you, Spage Widow? Yeah, Spage, what's positive about this post? She need to be anywhere near kids, especially with you see, and like even people call her out in these posts. Y'all both deserve it. Should I wish you and Junior were felt anointed from the mother the whole ceremony? F, she's no, okay. He has 4 baby mamas. The daughter's mother hasn't said it about her. Anyways. But then, let's get to the end of y'all. If you watch this far. Right here. And this is the video that was on X, Twitter.
How you doing? How about you, man? I'm doing good.
Now, keep in mind, they only went to the hotel because of the live stream. Somebody called the cops because of the live stream.
Yeah. How you doing?
Here come your harassment complaints.
Now, I did have some pictures of the whippets and stuff and how the hotel room looked, but I don't think that was really necessary this time. We get the point. Or I hope you get the point, right? So, disagree with me, agree with me, I don't care. Like and subscribe. I want to hear from you. I want to know why you agree or disagree with me. And this is why I feel like maybe I should start a series called, Trash Blank Females. Because I'm so sick of these women getting idolization where they don't take care of their kids and do the bare minimum. And keep in mind, before this man in this situation, she was followed around Blueface, and that's how she got arrested originally to begin with. I cannot stand Chrisean Rock. She's a bad example, and she's a bad representation for the Black American female people. And I really hope that one day people wake up and just completely ignore her, so she'll be forced to either get help or take care of her damn kid. All right, that's my opinion of the situation. Let me know what you think. If you haven't already, subscribe, like, and share this, by the way. And I hope you guys have a great day. And if you are a parent that's doing the bare minimum, keep in mind there's a kid out there that's not even receiving that, and you're doing a great job. So thank you for doing the bare minimum. The bare minimum, what I mean by that is that you're waking up every day, you're making sure your kid is up, they're fed, they're clothed, they have good hygiene. That means brushing their teeth, make sure you don't have boogers in their eyes, that they're dressed nice, and that you instill discipline into them, wisdom and guidance. That is the bare minimum to me. And cook them some meals from time to time. Stop the fast food shit. Anyways, that's all I got to say for now. Like, comment, subscribe. You guys have a great day. Thank you.